Flashy news. Only on ParanoidRadio.com, bringing you Flashy Fridays.
Tony boy.
Well, he's still fucking with his $2,000 mic around his neck.
Look at that, bro. If I put it like that, maybe.
Oh yeah, it's catching the vibrations straight from the neck. Oh yeah.
Just gonna have to make it look like that. It's all right. It's all right. They can see the fucking wire. No big deal. But better though, way better.
Way better. Ladies and gentlemen, testicles, 1, 2. Testicles, 1, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Paranoid Radio Podcast. Guess what? I am Trebles Garcia. I'm your humbled host. This is a crazy adventure. Up and down, left, right, then you win. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today. And I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me to enter your space. Guess who the fuck is in the motherfucking house? Bringing the freaking, talking this shit from glory. Destroying, dismantling the Democratic Party. Wait. Hold the fuck up. Make sure you check us out at ParanoidRadio.com. Cough up a t-shirt. And also, do not forget to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. That is right. Please allow me to introduce my deep state correspondent, father, patriot, business owner, Flash, from Flash_News 1. Woo! And then the eagle, and then the eagle flies behind you.
Reporting for duty, sir. Let's blow it out the gates, baby.
First of all, bro, let the people that are showing up right now that haven't seen you for a while, let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, man. I'm still restricted over on Instagram, unfortunately, but I think you could still search for me. Flashy_News 1 as a backup. I got X, Flashy_News X, and then True Social, Flashy_Truths. Let's get it.
That is right. And you can also find him, if you cannot find him on Instagram, go to paranoid.com, and he's under a special guest and links, and also registered as a host of the show. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have a doozy for you guys. We have a follow-up of a conversation. And for the people that do not know, Flash is not only my deep state correspondent, but he's a hell of a fucking MAGA supporter, Trumper. He got me to become a MAGA supporter throughout the last 2 years. Now, Flash, I understand that you have some shit that you want to get off your chest about the European elections. What the fuck is going on?
Man, I jumped the gun on this one. I got a little excited. I thought that the right-wing surge. So the way they do their elections is completely different than our country. So it's really hard to know the ins and outs and every way they do things. So they have 2 sets of elections. They have the first set, which the right wing overtook. Crazy, never won so many seats. Le Pen is the right-wing leader. She's a female in France. And she's been in politics for a long time, but she just never could pick up any seats. She's labeled far right. In reality, she's moderate right. She's just not left. Anything not left, they call far right now. So she was on track to pick up a complete and total majority for the first time ever, right? And this is getting rid of Macron. So the first round of voting completely demolished the left. I mean, just completely demolished it. Macron then called a snap election because he no longer had a majority to govern anymore. His party lost so many seats, right? So, and then the left started rioting. Right after that first round of elections, Antifa, they all got into the streets. They were burning down Paris because they lost that first round of elections, right? So then now the second round, they were trying to scare people to not voting because, like I said, they do 2 rounds of voting. There's one, and then they wait 2 weeks, and they do another one. Yeah. So all the signs were pointing to a huge majority for the right wing, like never before seen, a crazy amount of seats. They were going to win it all, right? So what the left did was they consolidated their power. How they did that. So in France and Europe, they don't have a 2-party system. They have like 5, 6, 7 parties, right? They have all these parties divvied up. They have the far left, they have the moderate lefts, they have the Green Party, they have the Marxists, they have the communists. Then on the right side, they have the moderate rights. They have, you know what I mean? So it kind of goes like that. So the vote gets spread out a lot. They get very spread out. So the left seen that they were going to get their asses kicked. They were getting their asses kicked, and they were going to completely lose all of France, right? So what they did was Macron And a lot of the far left leaders, the Marxists, like I said, the communists, the Green Party, the really far, they all got together and consolidated their power. They made 200 candidates drop out of the next round of elections because they went to the people like, listen, we don't like each other. Like they don't even like each other. The Marxists, the moderates, they hate each other too, you know. But so they made a deal with the devil essentially. They said, listen, let's all get together, right? We're gonna make one party now out of all these left-wing parties. We're just gonna make one to consolidate the power. And then 200 candidates dropped out of the race just so that there wouldn't be anybody else to vote for other than this new political party, right?
While the right people were still divided in their parties and they had other people to vote for. Shit, boss.
And what's so fucked up is that the right, Le Pen's party, got 10 million votes. The left only got 7 million votes, and they still picked up more seats somehow in the second election. People are saying it's rigged. I mean, they have a better voting system. They have voter ID. They count all the ballots at one time. But this is what they did. So this was like their last-ditch effort, right? This was like the last thing they could possibly do to stop the right-wing surge. But all this is going to do is just solidify because they have elections all the time over there, like way more than we do, like every year. So this is going to solidify again when the voting comes back up, because everyone's seen what they did. You know, they consolidated the power. It's anti-democracy. If you want to talk about the popular vote, the right got way more votes, but ended up only with 146 seats compared to 180 seats on the left. So now it's going to be a shared power sharing agreement. Nobody won an outright majority. So, I mean, unfortunately, man, Europe is going to have to go through some more growing pains. You know, they really are. But, you know, there's some positive things going on in the UK, even though the UK, they elected a far left prime minister, and that was the right wing government. I say it in quotes because the right wing in the UK is literally the same as the left wing. Like, they are actually the same. Like, you wouldn't have known it. The UK has had a conservative majority for the last 14 years. They've had a conservative. You would have no idea. They still have mass migration. Their taxes are out of control. Everything's crime is shit. So it doesn't even really matter that, you know, who's the prime minister over there. But what the good sign is Nigel Farage, who's like Trump's boy. He started the Brexit movement, which got Britain out of the EU in 2015. It was huge, a huge thing that happened. And it really started Trump's surge in America, that whole thing. So Britain is no longer part of the EU. So Nigel Farage, he himself ran for a seat and he won. And he also won 13 other seats. He started a new, like a MAGA group, essentially, of UK. So now what's going to happen? So now people are going to see the distinction between a controlled opposition party and an actual opposition party, exactly what's happening here. So they're going to have to go through 2 more years of growing pains. But I fully expect Nigel to come back and really win a lot of seats in their next election. So some disappointments, but also some promising outlooks. You know, 10 million people voted for a far right-wing government. That's a good sign. So it's all they did was they slowed it down. They slowed down the inevitable. Just like on our side, COVID slowed down the inevitable, right? They slowed down. It's nothing can stop what's coming still, but they can slow it down a little bit.
Just another hoax coming out of their pocket, a little card under their fucking sleeves. And this is war. At war, you have to understand and never underestimate your enemy. Now, talking about hoax. This is everywhere. Everybody's talking about this right now. Every single podcast and the media platform and mainstream fucking speaker, every person that I've seen on every single fucking social media site, they're talking about Trump's agenda for 2025. Wait, hold the fuck up. This is going to be the entire trailer, right? I'm going to put this all shit up so people can get an understanding. What the fuck's happening, dude? Understand. Help us understand this shit, bro.
Okay, so there's so much propaganda. This is their new Russia collusion. This is their new whatever, you know, hair is on fire. Oh my God, Trump is Hitler.
Yeah.
So Project 2025, really all it is a heritage foundation who's a think tank, right? Who's a conservative think tank. They come up with ideas and then they lobby members of Congress to enact those ideas, right? Very conservative group. They do a lot of good work. I follow them on Instagram. You should too, Heritage Foundation. Now, they came out with things they would like to see if and when a Republican ever got back in the White House, right? Now, Trump had nothing to do with this. He didn't write it. He didn't co-sign it. He didn't say, yeah, this is what it is, right? So, but think tanks do this all the time, right? Left-wing think tanks. Anybody remember Agenda 2030? Like, you know what I mean? If you're worried about Project 2025, go look at Agenda 2030 and tell me what
that's in full effect. The 2030 is on its way. What are you guys talking about?
So if you're going to tie 2025, Project 2025 to Trump just because it's conservative, then you have to tie every Democrat to Agenda 2030. And I don't
Bam.
think any of them are going to fucking co-sign that shit. So really, and 2025, it's not even that extreme. It just says, we want to deport a bunch of people. We want, they have some radical viewpoints on abortion. They don't believe in contraception and all that stuff. So like that stuff is scary, and it's going to scare a lot. They're just trying to scare people into thinking that Trump is going to be more radical this time around.
The
so
king,
there's so much misinformation about
situating him as a king, as a monarch type of thing. And he's
it's just so ridiculous. Like this idea that he can do things, like, he was already the president once. Like, we know what he's going to do. And they did the same shit in 2015. They said, if Trump became president, he's going to do this, he's going to do that.
I remember that.
He never did. He never, but who did those things? Joe Biden. Inflation, open the border, crime is out of control, world wars. All the things they said Trump would do if he got in never happened, but then now Biden is actually happening. So
every single thing that they told Trump that he was going to do back in 2016 has happened in the rain, only with Biden sitting on the fucking throne. So if you guys want to say anything about that shit, look inwards.
That's it. And everybody can see it now. They're on full blast. Right. So I think people, they're hoping that these same hoaxes will work, like these same psyops, these same things that they've been doing this whole time, because they're an old dog, no new tricks. You know what I mean? Yeah. This is just what they do. They're so used to being able to run these psyops and for them to be successful that they just don't know what to do now. And now they're literally falling apart. So they're just trying to fearmonger people into thinking that Trump has something to do with this Project 2025, even though a lot of those things in Project 2025 are going to be a part of Trump's administration and his plan. But if you really want to know what Trump's plan is, all you got to do is Google Agenda 47. Go to DonaldTrump.com and he will lay it out for you. He actually has like 20 videos of his policy positions telling you exactly what he's going to do once he becomes president again. But they don't want to talk about that because all that is common sense and it's all things that people want. He's a populist. He's gonna push popular viewpoints, right? That's what a populist does. So that's why they're so scared, is because they know that his message is getting out. So if they could just try and scare enough people into just thinking that this is what it is, it's just all psyops. It's all shit. But if you want to worry about 2025, Google Agenda 2030. Tell me which one fucking scares you.
Stop. Do not. This is like, look, I'm not trying to bring this in like, because that has nothing to do with it, but I don't want to bring this in. It's like that Drake and Kendrick situation, just jumping on the train, and because it has a sweet sound to it. Yeah, this Agenda 25 kind of sounds like something Trump would say, but it's not connected to Trump. And stop jumping on the hype, guys. Get off that fucking train. It's some baby back bullshit. There's another distraction, if anything.
And since you brought up Kendrick Lamar, funny enough that the DNC, the Democrat Party, is trying to get Kendrick Lamar to rap his "Not Like Us" song at the DNC convention.
If they do that, and if he does that, bro, I'm already done with him. Fuck Kendrick Lamar. I don't like K-Dot. I hate him. I grew up on Drake, and if Drake is a pedo, well, fuck that fool too. Fuck both of them. I know some dirty shit on Kendrick. I know some dirty shit about Schoolboy Q. People are not fucking mentioning Schoolboy Q because he's a dirty son of a gun in those buses too. I know what's up. But look, fuck Kendrick, and if he jumps on fucking the blue train,
does that.
Oh God!
See, but
most likely he is.
It's becoming so clear that what they do. Though. So now they're calling in their Hollywood fucking puppets, right? George Clooney now is getting in on this conversation. All of it, and it's so obvious that the Democrat Party is the party of the elites. That's what it is now. And you know what? And it used to be the Republican Party used to be the party of the elites, the country club Republicans, they used to call them, right? And Donald Trump completely fucking flipped it on its head. Now the Republican Party is the party of the working man. This is why I reject this notion that Trump is just part of the two-party system, same bird, two wing. Absolutely not. He completely took over the RNC. He's completely changed the whole platform of the Republican Party. We are now targeting the minority community, targeting low-income communities with opportunity zones that Donald Trump did with Senator Tim Scott. So all of these things that the Democrat Party wanted to do but never could, Trump is now doing them, and that's what scares the shit out of them, right? More than anything. So he's breaking the two-party system simply by his existence in the political sphere. He calls out just as many Republicans as he does Democrats. He's not a Republican at all. Trump is actually the ultimate rhino. If you really want to talk about rhinos.
Just to bring it up to full circle, if Kendrick does go into blue, it's only going to help people awaken because he stays woke. I know he stays woke with that fucking stupid word. Now, talking about awakened, the Great Awakening, our next point in this amazing conversation. What you got on that?
Listen, this is real. You know, it's not just a term that Q said and that we all talk about sometimes. The Great Awakening is happening. and I don't put a lot of faith in polls, but there are some polls that you can look at to get information from. Like, what's the most important on voters' mind? Always the economy. Always, always, always the economy. For the first time in history, it is now immigration, and it's the open border, right? And I said that open border was going to be the catalyst to the Great Awakening, because you can't allow this many people in such a short period of time and then turn around and say no to the SAVE Act, right, which was just passed in the House. The SAVE Act was to ensure that non-citizens would not vote in our elections. Every single Democrat voted no, except for 5 of them. Every Republican voted yes. Biden said he is not going to sign the bill if it even passes. So now they are on full blast. And this was the genius of this bill, right? Because it's probably not going to pass. But what it's going to do is it's going to get everybody on record. Do you want illegal people voting in our elections or not? It's a simple bill. There's no tricks in the bill. It says what it is. It's exactly what it is. And this is why Donald Trump said that this is so important, because it's going to put these people on blast. So if the border wasn't open to allow people to vote, what is your problem with stopping them from voting? All we're asking for is to show proof of citizenship when you register to vote. That's it. It has nothing to do with minorities or black people or whatever the fuck.
Fuck that. Yeah, no, because there's black immigrants, there's Asian immigrants. Get the fuck out of here.
That's it. Yeah, that's what it is, right? So this is part of the Great Awakening, though. Doing these little things like putting these bills on the floor, allowing the people to vote, to show, look who voted for it, look who voted against it, look who is for our democracy, because that's not democracy. Allowing illegal immigrants to vote in your elections. What other country could you possibly do that in? They would fucking hang you from a tree for doing it, bro. Like,
absolutely.
Like, so
try going down there. Try going down to Venezuela and try voting in their system. See how that goes for you.
It's just so ridiculous, right? So I mean, so now they're on full back. So this is part of the Great Awakening, right? These little things that we're doing, it may not seem like it's having a big effect, but if you look at these polls, like I said, some of them, 30% of the black vote is shifting towards Donald Trump, which is unheard of for a Republican, any kind of GOP nominee or anything, So it's these things, and unfortunately, we just had to go through these growing pains. Unfortunately, there are casualties in war, and we're absolutely in a war. And that's just, the more they do, the more people wake up, and they're running out of time. That's the whole thing, bro. And the whole thing with Joe Biden is, you don't think that debate woke people up? There was people that had no idea that Joe Biden was that bad because they believed what the news told them. They really thought he was okay. Bro, he melted on television, bro.
You know what? Even when he melted there on television, I saw Trump only take one shot at him when he said, yeah, you fucked that up, but that wasn't it about the healthcare. He said something like, I didn't even understand what he said. I don't think he even understood what he said. He only took one shot, but Biden fell 4 times. He mumbled 4 times. So, and he was like, I can't see nothing anymore. Well, anyway.
Bro, there's a thing, never interrupt your opponent when they are making a mistake. Right. And Trump has been awfully quiet ever since the debate. Hasn't really talked about it. Hasn't put out any, because you know what? You don't need to just let them do all the work for you.
Everybody's doing
themselves.
And the digital fucking patriot soldiers like us.
Exactly. And he knows that we're gonna fucking rip them apart, bro. And we have been. And this is waking a lot of people up. So now there's a lot of infighting inside the deep state. Obama wants Biden out. Biden has dirt on Obama.
That's the next step. You think he's gonna step? This is a very important, very, very, very powerful conversation. A lot of people are speculating all these other names are coming in. That Newsom, that Michael Obama. Yeah, I said Michael, the first transsexual president ever, if he ever does make it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's gonna?
That's what we're at now. So I mean, they're in such a bad position because we're so close to the election, right? They should have been making this decision a while ago. I mean, if they just listened to Republicans and actually looked at Joe Biden for who he was, they probably would have switched him out a while ago. But Biden has a lot of power right now. He's the sitting president, right? He's the one in the White House. Ain't nobody going to get him out of there unless he does it himself. So now they have Parkinson doctors coming. My man's got Parkinson's supposedly now. Like, this is the biggest scandal probably ever in political history, the fact that they are hiding the mental acuity of the president of the United States. Supposedly the commander-in-chief doesn't stay up past 8 o'clock. So what happens if there's a fucking nuclear bomb on the way or something, bro? Like where's the president? Nowhere to be found, right? So this is the establishment, though, right? Because they will literally put up someone like Biden just because he can be controlled, just because the bureaucracy around him can actually control it. But they're afraid he's going to lose, right? Because look at the polls, look at him, look at the difference in the contrast between Trump and Biden. Now we have 4 years of Trump that we can compare to 4 years of Biden, not like before, So Obama's trying to get him out. Joe Biden really is the president of the United States right now. that's who is running the White House. Joe Biden's
Jill?
wife. 100%. She is the one that's calling the shots. She's the one that's sitting in the Oval Office, making them sign papers. So this, and there was a whistleblower that came forward to ABC News, and they said that, Joe Biden, like, he doesn't even know what he's signing. Like, they just put papers in front of him and he signs it, right? Like, this shit is scary, bro. Like, this is like this, I want Trump to win so bad and everything like that. But in the grand scheme of it, like, this is a really sad and scary time for our country, bro. The fact that this fucking.
Oh, God. I'm visualizing that right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to take a step. You have to take a step back and think about what you just said. The president, the leader of the free world. All right. He's sitting in the Oval Office with his wife there. Other lobbyists, other people that are giving him, this is what we have. We got 4 different packets. What do you choose? Anyway.
He has no idea, bro.
Right, exactly. What?
Like, exactly,
and his wife is like, well, like, his wife is like,
sign this, sign that, sign this. And now she doesn't want to get rid of it. And now Hunter Biden is like Joe's closest confidant right now. They're saying that he's sitting in on White House meetings. My man just got convicted of a fucking felony. All this shit. He's a crackhead. All this shit. And he's sitting on fucking classified meetings because Joe Biden's trying to keep his family close because he knows everybody else wants him out. But he's only going to listen to the people that tell him what he wants to hear. Oh, you're doing great. And that's what, you don't think Hunter Biden wants his dad to stay president? Of course he does. He has more power right now than anything. The only way Joe Biden is going to drop out is if and when they offer Hunter Biden $10 million to get your dad to quit. That's the only way they're going to get him to step back. They can do the 25th Amendment, but that's going to make them look really, really bad because it has to come from the vice president. So the vice president has to be the one to go to the other cabinet members. A majority of the cabinet members have to agree that Joe Biden doesn't have the mental acuity to be the president, and then they can pull him. But if they did that, then that just goes back on everything they've been telling us for the last 3 years, that this man is fine. He's at the top of his game. They were literally saying that Joe Biden does mental gymnastics around everybody. He's sharp. He's all this stuff. So now you're going to pull him with the 25th Amendment.
What's that freaking girl with the curly hair, that stupid clown chick, the speaker?
The Karine Jean-Pierre. Yeah, she's a fucking propaganda queen, bro. Like, that's it. Like all.
How do you sleep at night knowing that you're lying to everybody? You know damn well, I could see it in your face that you know damn well that the guy is losing his mind. Like, you know this. How do you lie that? And then you're lying. We know you're lying. Like, you could tell you're lying, bro.
And you know what's crazy is that the media now is treating Biden like they treat Trump. You're getting fake leaks, fake stories about Joe Biden, what he's saying, what he's not saying. All these
it gives sources,
ratings, right?
It's ratings. It's all ratings. That's all ratings
because the deep state wants Joe Biden out. So now they're going to pull all the tricks that they pulled against Trump when they wanted Trump out, right? So all these fake stories, all these fake leaks, anonymous sources, all the shit that they do to fucking Trump, they are now doing to Biden. And then Biden wants to complain like he's not getting a fair shake in the media. Yeah, how do you like it, pal? We fucking had to deal with that shit for 8 years. You deal with one for 2 weeks and you can't even handle it, bro. If you can't stand it, you
can't even fucking wipe your own ass. Like, this is
bro,
how about
literally the craziest shit, bro?
We have one more point here. And this is extremely important. Dude, this episode is fucking rocking, dog. I swear. This episode has every hot point conversation right now. Every hot point conversation that every single one of you wants to listen to. But we have one more. White Hats Allegiance. White Hats Alliance. Yes, what is this?
Yes,
what happened here?
Yes.
Man.
This is huge. This is huge. Okay. So if we remember when Trump was president, 2016, 2017, he went on a tour. Right, he went to all the world leaders. Right, he went to Saudi Arabia, he went to Israel, he went all around the world. Right, and then it was a capitulation tour. Mm-hmm. Essentially, what he did was he went to all of these leaders and he presented them all of the evidence he has on the deep state in our country. He pretty much gave them an ultimatum. Listen, you guys want to play with me or you want to play with them? And they chose him. That's why he got a fucking sword dance in Saudi Arabia. No one's ever gotten a sword dance in Saudi Arabia that wasn't from there. Okay, they gave him the biggest, right? So, and then he went on, and then he went to go see Putin, right? Everybody made a big deal about that. Putin gave him that soccer ball, right? I remember he was doing an interview with Putin. Putin gave him, everyone was like, what was in that soccer ball? He gave it to Barron, his son, who is a computer genius. Some people say that there was a computer chip in that soccer ball that had all of the information that Trump was looking for, right? That's why he gave it to his son immediately after Putin gave it to him. I'm gonna give this to my son because his son knows computers. So now, even Xi Jinping, the president of China, is involved in this alliance, okay? And now further proof of that, fast forward till now, the Indian president of India, Modi, just went to go see Putin. The president of Hungary, Viktor Orban, just went to go see Putin. Now, Modi and Orban are close friends with Donald Trump. Donald Trump loves them. They love Trump. They had a great relationship while Trump was in office and even after, right? So now these people so there's a white hat alliance happening to go, not to really target the American people, but to target the Western elites, right? Because they see how we use sanctions, how we use the dollar to pretty much force our will onto all of these other countries. That's why they started the BRICS nations, right? To get off the dollar, because we wield the dollar in a way that's unfair. We sanction countries just because we don't like them, just because they're Christian nationalist countries, or just because they don't have a Rothschild central bank like Russia, right? This is really why we don't like Russia, because they don't have a central
North Korea, Iran,
right? Exactly, right. And that's why they are quote unquote the enemy, right? And we have created these enemies by the way we do business, right? We are bullies. We are the bullies of the world. So now they're getting together and they're saying, fuck that, right? Because the dollar is going to crash. But we have to think about the dollar is used for every single sin around the world. Human trafficking. Just look at the dollar. It has the symbolism right on it, right? It's used to enslave humanity in many ways. So, even though it's scary that it's going to crash, but there is a plan after it does. Why wouldn't we join the BRICS nations? Why wouldn't we join the BRICS nations? They are having a currency that's backed by gold, right? So there is this plan that is coming out, right? We're seeing it with our own eyes now. Now you have world leaders going to see Putin, right? Because there is some kind of plan that's happening. I don't know exactly what it is, but you can't say there isn't one. Because if you look at everything on a 40,000-foot view, you really see it coming together, right? Because now our enemies are pretty much the same as Russia. Our enemies are pretty much the same as China's now, right? Because it's the Western elites. It's not us. It's not the American people. It is our leaders are wielding our tax dollars to go do all these things that they're doing, right? So, of course, there's some kind of allegiance going on. These countries want to protect themselves just like we want to protect ourselves, right? So this and NATO is the same thing. NATO is pretty much just the army of these Western elites. It's the army of the deep state, right? And they're just go ahead.
I've never seen tax dollars be mishandled the way that they've mishandled it now. I've never seen this before.
It's unbelievable, bro.
I was just reading a couple of days ago how before the 1913, the dollars that you would spend in the county of LA would be used in the county of LA to fix the roads, to pick up libraries, to make a school, it will come back into your pocket because this is where you're into your community. It will cycle from you to community, and that's how you would grow. Now it's all centralized and it goes directly streamlined into the pockets of these people, and you don't know what the fuck are they doing with their money. How are we in debt? Like it's and then
listen to this stat, right? So China, their dollar, only 2% of their currency is overseas. 98% is in China. Our currency, half of our currency is overseas, and only half is in America. Okay, so that just shows you how spread out our money is, right? And for better or for worse, whatever, we have the petrodollar. It's been working for us up until about now, because now Saudi Arabia is starting to make deals that aren't in the dollar, right? And if we have a petrodollar and they're not actually using the petrodollar to buy and sell petro, we don't have a dollar anymore. It's not backed by anything. You know what I mean? So I think that's part of the plan, right? Because they know that they want to crash the system. They want to usher in this digital currency. They want to do all of these things, right? And in order to get to where they want to go, they're going to wake up a lot of people on the way because they're doing all this crazy shit, right? And just look, and you brought up the debt, $34 trillion of debt. We are running $1 trillion deficit just on our payments every 100 days. We are spending $1 trillion just on the interest of our debt. This shit is not sustainable, bro. This is late stage empire falling, looting the treasury. The Romans did it. Everyone did, they just loot the treasury, right? Because they know the collapse is coming. Now they're trying to hold it off just so it collapsed under Trump rather than under Biden. That's all they're doing, right? They're juicing the system with all this money. That's why the stock market's looking great. The rich are getting richer. Top 1%. I think it's the top 10% own 90% of the money in this country. The top 10% own 90% of everything, all the assets, all the money, all of this shit. So it's obviously not sustainable, right? So it's obviously not sustainable. So the crash is coming. Now it's just, how do we deal with it when it comes? We're going to need all of these, because, Europe and these Western countries that are our quote unquote allies, they're going through the same shit we're going through, the same collapse, the same immigration problems, all of this shit, right? Meanwhile, Russia's economy is booming. Russia's economy has never been better. Their ruble, their dollar, ruble, whatever you want to call it, a ruble is skyrocketing, right? Because they're selling all this fucking natural gas. They're doing all these things for their people. So we actually have a lot in common with Russia and the way they operate, right? We want to get more to a system that way. Obviously, there's the KGB and there's a lot of corruption. regardless, that's fine. But they are a Christian nation that puts their people first. That's all we're trying to do. That's all we want to do. You know what I mean? So I think we just got to stay focused, man. You know, and real quick, Georgia, just want to talk about a quick election integrity. Georgia just passed a law from their board of elections that they're going to hand count all the ballots before they put them in the precinct to compare it to the machine count. This is fucking huge because the Democrats cannot win without Georgia. That's how they won in 2020. They weren't supposed to win in Georgia, but it's because they weren't counting the ballots. All these extra ballots came in. So now this is fucking huge. They're going to hand count the ballots before they report the total. So then we can take what the machine said, what the people said, and then we're going to have it in the middle. Boom. This is huge.
There's a fucking saying in Spanish, me salió el tiro por la culata. If you know Spanish, that means that you try to shoot from the front, but the bullet came out through the back. These guys, you shut yourself, bro. It's an awkward saying. I know it's an awkward saying, but it's a real saying in Spanish, guys. And you just shot yourself in the foot, basically. That's what it means.
That's pretty much what they did, bro, because they just don't know what, they're not going to be able to do it the same way they did. It's not going to be mass mail-in voting. So now they're trying to use these illegal immigrants because they don't need them to vote. They just need the body, the name, the government ID number, right? That's all they need. Damn. So if we can stop that, it's all over for them, bro. But I fully expect another George Floyd event to happen particularly
that reason because of that what might happen with Joe Biden, and because November's right around the corner, and last time we seen this, it was during a very, very awkward season. This is why I purchased a firearm, guys. Guys, stay vigilant and arm yourselves while you can. That's 100%. All I'm saying. You need to buy yourself prep.
And prep, I made a reel. It's pretty good. Just telling people, are you ready? Are you ready for a blackout situation? Are you ready if the cell phones go out? Do you have a meetup spot in your community? Have you talked to your neighbors just in case anything happens? Do you have canned goods, stored water, gasoline? Do you have a generator? These things aren't crazy. We don't know what they're going to do. We don't know what they're going to throw at us, but we just know they're going to do something, and they're going to throw something at us. And this is why information is power. Awareness can save your life. Just by listening to this podcast and getting prepared could absolutely save your life. So this isn't a game. This is not a game. We got a couple months until the biggest day this country has ever seen, which is November 5th, 2024.
I will the first thing I live in a blue state in a very condensed area, very populated area. I will leave this place as soon as possible. Anything that happens, and I will stay out of state. I'm going to Nevada for a bit, and I'm gonna stay out there in the sun for a bit because I need to get away from people until it simmers down. But let's pray for the best and always hope for the best, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you check out Flashy_News1 on Instagram. Make sure you drop a 5-star on the podcast. It allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Peace out, fellas. Thank you again, Flash.
Yeah, baby.
Paranoid Radio.